Alright, now we're doing 7Q, walking in the hallway. This is by Melon Fruit, and 94% of the people like it. So we're a security guard at a large company. Pardon me, we are security guards at a large company, and our job is to look over the cameras. Finding ourselves bored, we decide to make a game from the people walking in a hallway on one of the cameras. Alright? As many people walk past the hallway, we decide to figure out the minimum steps it will take before two people cross or come into contact with each other, assuming every person takes a step at the same time. People are represented as arrows, like these, for a person moving left, and like this for a person moving right, and this for empty space. Gotcha. A step represents a person moving forward one of these, and each person moves one step at the same time. In this example, the first people come in contact with each other after one step. Gotcha. In this example, the first people come into contact with each other after one step. Something like that. In this case, no people come into contact, and we're going to return -1. Alright, so if nothing happens, -1. Gotcha. Alright, so this is a fun one. There's going to be about 6 different methods we got to use to knock this one out. And that's not even doing it the for loop way. Because if we did it the for loop way, this would be a very, very long video. Alright, so first things first, we're going to change this into concise syntax and say const contact equals hallway, and then an arrow right here. So I don't know what the principle is called, but what we can do here, we can declare variables inside of the little argument area right here. So we're going to declare a variable right here. We're going to call it array equals, and we're going to make an array out of all these little gap spaces things. All right, and just for the sake of this video, we're going to get rid of all these tests because they don't have multiples associated with them. Only this one has multiples. All right, so we're going to say array equals, we're going to have to use 7 methods, sorry, match Javascript right there. So first things first, we're going to have to use this match method, which retrieves the results of matching a string against a regular expression. And we're going to match every single one of these that we can find, every one of these little gaps that we can find, and put it in an array. All right, so we're going to say array equals hallway dot match, and the syntax for the match method is basically we put match, and inside here we're going to put some regex. All right, so let's drop some regex slashes in here real quick. And if you're unfamiliar with regex or need a little refresher, let me throw some stuff at you. So inside here, what we want to match is we want to match the right pointing arrow. We want to match these things, the little hyphens, and we also want to match the left pointing arrow. But the thing is, right now, it's only going to match something that looks exactly like that. So to correct this situation, to get all these little hyphens in on that, we're going to use this quantifier over here, specifically this one with the star, which matches the preceding item x. In our case, it's going to be the hyphen 0 or more times. For example, this matches boo in a ghost booed, and b in a bird warbled, but nothing in a goat grunted. Gotcha. Sure, why not? Oh yeah, because there's a B. Gotcha. Alright, so for this one, let's come back over here. So right after this hyphen, we're going to throw a little star right there. But the thing about regex is this is only going to match it one time unless we do something else, okay? And what we're going to have to do with this is we're going to come over here, and I'll show you about this thing we got. It's called the global search flag. Let's go all the way down here. All right, we throw this G on here, It's the global search. And that little flag is going to make it to where it matches every single one of these instances in this, in whatever hallway is at the moment. So after the slash, toss a G in there and boom, we got it. So let's come down here and let's go console.log so we can test while we go. And while we're at it, let's say, what's array look like? All right, test it out. So right now, it looks just like this. Nice, very nice. We don't need that though, we need the numbers. So let's just say array.length. So what's that look like? That's not cool. Oh yeah, not dot length. What am I doing? Anyway, so let's get to it. Not bad. So here we are at this part. So, oh, I didn't even put the map method. We need 8 methods. Map method. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for playing around. Map JavaScript. Here it is right here. So, here we are. We're after this regex. So basically what we want to do right now is we want to get these, every single one of these to have, we want to get the number of the length of every single one of these, all right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the map method on this, and where did I put map? Right here. If you don't know about the map method, it creates a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array. So basically like right here, it says X, and we're doing array 1 up here. So X is going to be each one of these elements in order, and we're multiplying each element by 2. So 1 times 2, 4 times 2, 9 times 2, 16 times 2 equals 2, 8, 18, and 32. And the syntax we're going to be using is just the normal arrow function syntax with map. We're going to say something.map, array.map. We're going to have element in here as the argument, a arrow, and then the expression with the, which is going to be whatever dot length. All right. So let's knock that out. We're going to say array.map, and then we're going to say element as the argument for this little function inside here, and for the expression, we're going to say element.length. All right, let's check that out. Now that's what I wanted it to look like the first time. All right, so now we've got this. So we're looking for the smallest gap, right? Which is going to be 12. So to do that, we're going to use this good old-fashioned math.min. And the math.min function returns the smallest of the numbers given as input parameters. Or infinity, well, it's not going to do that. And basically, all we got to do is say math.min and then have some comma-separated values inside of it. All right, so let's wrap this thing up in, in parentheses. And then let's say right here, and go home, let's say math.min. All right? Test that out. Uh-oh, it's nan. What's the problem? I think we know the problem. And if you don't, let me let you in on it. All right? As you see here, it's comma-separated values. As you see here, it's an array. All right? So how do we get this array to turn into comma-separated values without doing all kinds of stuff? Well, luckily, we've got this spread syntax here. And if you don't know about it, it allows an iterable, such as an array or string, to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments or elements are expected. So it's not expected here, so in front of this array, we're just going to say dot, dot, dot. That's going to turn this thing into comma-separated values. Test it out, and just like that, we've got 11. Was that the... I thought it was 12. Well, whatever. Maybe I missed one. So now that we've got this, so to find out the steps of 2 people walking towards each other, it's not going to be 11. It's going to be 11 divided by 2. Right? Because they're both walking, right? Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that better. So we're just going to say divide that thing by 2 right there. Test that out. Not going to work for me because 5.5 isn't a whole number. So what we got to do is round down for this one. And we're going to use math.floor for that. And the math.floor function always rounds down and returns the largest integer less than or equal to a given number. We're going to come on over here, wrap this thing up in parentheses, and over here we're going to say math.floor. All right, test it out. Looks good. Let's get rid of this console.log because we're done with testing. Let's give this a little indentation so it looks a little better. Test it out. All right, let's attempt it. Uh-oh. Cannot read property map of null. What's that mean? Oh, if there's nothing in there, it ain't gonna do nothing. So we're gonna have to do an if statement to make this. If there's an array, we're gonna make this, and if there is no array, if there's nothing, we're gonna have to do -1. So now how do we do that without having to do a thousand if statements? What we're gonna have to do here, if you don't know about it, conditional ternary operator. So the ternary operator is the only JavaScript operator that takes 3 operands: a condition followed by a question mark, then an expression to execute if the condition is truthy followed by a colon, and finally the expression to execute if the condition is falsy. This operator is frequently used as an alternative to an if-else statement. Awesome. So all we got to do here is say, does array exist? If so, do this. If not, throw a -1 at them. All right? Test it out. All right? But that was how it was last time. Let's attempt it. And there we go. Just like that. And let's submit it. All right. And as you see, here's the for loop way with if statements and a whole lot of typing. And we could have done that if we wanted to have a 15-minute video. Along with that. And then here's basically what we did, a little different syntax, is normal syntax. They declared this thing outside the argument thing, and they did this backwards, and they used this, the right shift operator, which basically the right shift operator, as intimidating as it looks, when you do right shift with 1, all it does is divide it by 2 and then do a mat.floor. But what that would make the video even longer. And here's a bunch of other ones. We check them all out. Awesome. Whatever. Mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it. And we'll see you next time.